Hello again, everyone. Yes, it's your favourite demented uncle. It's time for Ask Uncle Ben. Now let's have the rest of the questions that I was catching up on. First of all, from Chris again. Hello, Chris. How are you? Chris writes, Uncle Ben, why is baby poo green, but toddler poo and above brown coloured? Well, what a delightful question to start us off with. Now, you probably won't remember this, as we don't really remember being babies, do we? But as babies, we are absolutely obsessed with eating trees. Oh, you can't get enough of trees when you're a baby. If you have a look at some people's prams and pushchairs and things, you'll notice a few roots sprouting out, a few twigs here and there. Oh yes, they've always got a tree in there munching away. And of course, for ease of access, the parents tend to hold the tree upside down over the baby, so there we are, munching on all the leaves there. But then as we grow older, we can start reaching beyond the leaves to the bark and the main trunk, can't we? Yes, so then it's brown. Simple as that, Chris. Hope I didn't get too scientific for you there. Bye-bye now. Next question. Dear Uncle Ben, when is the best time to tell an egg that it was adopted? Yours sincerely, an egg. P.S. I am an egg. Well, Anne, that's a difficult one, isn't it? I just need to ask you a few questions first. First of all, do you live far away, or do you live locally? Locally, you see. No, sorry, this is a very serious question. I must be serious. I had a similar question from someone else, a friend of mine, dear friend of mine, many years ago. Shelley Crackface, her name was. But anyway, that's personal. I wasn't going to that. We managed to hatch a plan in the end, anyway. But listen, Anne, seriously now, sorry, must be serious. Look, the thing is, as we all know, you can't make an omelette without breaking an egg's heart, can you? So look, I would just tell the egg whenever you think they're ready, alright? It's up to you, whenever you think they're ready. If it will help, I can send you an egg timer, if you like. But for the moment, that's an earth of eggs. An earth. Right, a question from Matt again. Hello again, Matt. Matt asks, how many heads do you have to chop off to be considered banoffee pie? I see. Well, Matt, of course, a banoffee pie must have no heads at all, because a banoffee pie with a head is in fact more of a cheesecake, isn't it? And a banoffee pie with several heads is in fact a direct contravention of the Geneva Convention. Okay, hope that's helped there, Matt. A question from Aaron, or Aaron, not entirely sure. Let's call you Ron for now. Ron says, Dear Uncle Ben, I think I agreed with something Katie Hopkins said. Am I very ill? Well, I'm sorry to break this to you, Ron, but yes, you are. You must go and lie down in a dark room immediately. And never mind all those people trying to develop photographs. You just go and lie down, all right? And if you find yourself ever agreeing with her again, then you must bind your head with bandages and spend 2 weeks in your airing cupboard. If after that you still find yourself agreeing with her, then you're going to have to be arrested, I'm afraid, and committed to a mental institution. I would recommend a lobotomy, but seeing as you agreed with something that Katie Hopkins said, I assume you've already had one. Moving on. Dear Uncle Ben... Oh, I can't breathe, that's interesting. Right, Dear Uncle Ben, I have received a most delightful missive from one of our European neighbours, quoted below. What advice do you have about further communications with this entirely believable entity? I must say I am extremely excited about the whole situation. Yours sincerely, Colonel Meltwater Parsley, age 3. Right, well, let's read this email you got, Colonel. Dear Foreigner. Oh, that's a nice start, isn't it? How do you feel today? I wish that you have the most wonderful day of your life today. Well, that's very pleasant, isn't it? It's quite unlikely, but it's very pleasant. Carrying on. I am Svetlana, an elegant and educated girl from Russia. Ooh. I am a middle-class girl who works as a doctor in one of the pediatric hospitals of Moscow. You may be surprised when I say that a doctor is from middle-class society. No, I'm not surprised. Yes, doctors may not be that rich in Russia when compared to the US or Western Europe, but we live a decent life, and you may say we belong to upper middle class. Get you. Well, I like to be straightforward in life, and so I want to tell you that I am in search of my life partner from among foreigners or Westerners. Foreigners or Westerners, not both. You can't be a foreign Westerner. As I am deeply fascinated by foreign countries, their culture and languages. I am in search of a decent and straightforward gentleman who is fed up of life without a suitable life partner and is bored of solitude just like me. Then you should surely join this website where you can find me and thousands of like-minded women from Russia and Eastern Europe. Why waste your time further? Click here on datestars.ru and change your life forever. Well, what are you waiting for, Colonel Parsley? I mean, you're a foreign Westerner who believes in doctors and is fed up of being perfectly happy on your own, aren't you? So go for it. Do let me know how many upper-middle-class Russian female doctors you end up marrying, won't you? Take care now. Another question from Simon. Hello again, Simon. Dear Uncle Ben, my cooker has started talking Yiddish. Should I put my head in it? Now, you must never put your head in the oven, Simon. Not unless you're making a banoffee pie cheesecake, of course. And anyway, your nose wouldn't fit in the oven, would it? So there's no point. No, it's alright. You've probably just been using too much Torah margarine in cakes and things that you've been putting in the oven, haven't you? Yes. So just whack it on gas mark synagogue and leave it alone for a while. Hope that helps. Oh, another question from Matt again. Hello, Matt. Uncle Ben, I have 3 unlucky rabbits. Should I discard one of them? Absolutely not, Matt. Cruelty to animals is not something I will sanction or indeed tolerate, even for comedic purposes, right? So just chop off all their feet and throw the rest of the rabbits away. The feet should become lucky. Well, luckier than the rest of the cruelly discarded rabbit bits anyway. Hope that helps. Next question. Dear Uncle Ben, Albert and Bernard just became friends with Cheryl. Or Cheryl. I don't know. And they want to know when her birthday is. Cheryl gives them a list of 10 possible dates. May the 15th, May the 16th, May the 19th, June the 17th, June the 18th, July the 14th, July the 16th, August the 14th, August the 15th, and August the 17th. Cheryl then tells Albert and Bernard separately the month and the day of her birthday, respectively. Albert says, I don't know when Cheryl's birthday is, but I know that Bernard does not know too. Bernard says, at first I didn't know when Cheryl's birthday is, but I know now. Albert says, then I also know when Cheryl's birthday is. So, when is Cheryl's birthday? Yours sincerely, some sort of maths teacher or something. P.S. Can you also explain what sort of mental condition would cause a human person to answer the question, when is your birthday, like this? Right. Well, this is quite straightforward, really, isn't it, maths teacher type person? The fact that Bernard didn't know when Cheryl's birthday was, but does now, whereas Albert didn't know and knew Bernard didn't know too, and the fact there are only 10 options, along with, of course, taking into account the fact that they have only just become friends with Cheryl, and, well, they're probably children who are in the same year at school together, aren't they? So I would say that Cheryl's birthday is in a boat travelling towards Wells at 25 miles per hour. All right? And, your PS question, yes, I think the kind of condition that causes someone to answer when's their birthday like that is called pretentious mathematical tosser. Not to be confused, of course, with portentous bollard called Hugh, because we like Hugh, as I said last time. Right, moving on from that, another question from Mummy Ram. Hello again, Mummy Ram. Question for Uncle Ben. In this world of equal opportunities, where is the mummy's source? That's a very good point, isn't it? Now, actually, Mummy Ram, there is a mummy's source. But I'm afraid at the moment she's being forced to wear high heels at her office job. And even though she's better than her male equivalent and lasts considerably longer, of course, she is paid considerably less. Also, she isn't actually going to be allowed onto the supermarket shelves until she's lost enough weight, because they demand she be able to fit into at least a size 0 label, or even better, a size minus 57. It's a sad story, but that's the truth of it, I'm afraid, Mummy Ram. Hope that helped. Moving on now. Oh, a question from Jess. Hello, Jess. Jess asks, how might one stage a full-scale musical with a ball of string, a toothpick, and 24 pence in coppers? Well, yes, musicals are a costly business, Of course, one of the main costs is actors, isn't it? Because you have to have actors in these things. So I would get rid of them. Get rid of the actors. They're normally quite annoying as well, aren't they? So yes, rid of the actors. None of that. That'll save you some money. And then, of course, well, a musical, a band costs a lot of money, doesn't it? An orchestra. Musicians are very, very expensive. So yes, we'll get rid of the band as well. In fact, get rid of the music. Get rid of all the music. It'll make things much easier. Then, of course, you need to put on a show that has no rights. You haven't got to pay any rights to put it on. That will save you money. So we need to go back in time to things like Shakespeare or The Canterbury Tales by Chaucer or Greek tragedy or something, you know. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then, of course, theatres are costly places, aren't they? Or they do cost a lot. So we need to put it on somewhere free. So maybe your mother's spare bedroom or on a pavement somewhere. Yeah, on a pavement maybe. And then also, if you do it in there, you don't need to pay for any lighting, do you? Actually, even better, do it in the dark. So if you do it in your spare bedroom, switch the lights off, and you do it outside, do it at night. Do it in the dark, then you haven't got to have any set either. So there we are. To recap, I advise you put on, say, Hamlet the Musical, with no actors and no music, either in your mother's spare bedroom or on a street corner in East Finchley or somewhere. in complete darkness. Do let me know if you do that, Jess, won't you? And I'll come along and see it. It's already sounding a hell of a lot better than most of the tripe out there. Let's be honest. Right, moving on to our next question. And speaking of musicals, we have another question from Mrs. Suspicious Coffee Mornings. Hello there, my dear. Now she writes, Dear Uncle Ben, the visit of Mr. Fagin to your show reminded me of an idea that myself and my colleagues at the Sensible Society have had on the subject of musicals. You know musicals, those homicide-inducing entertainments in which people rhyme wisteria with hysteria and sing Look at me, I'm dancing, while they are dancing. Yeah, yes, I know them all too well. Our idea was that these shows could be rendered bearable by the inclusion in some of the lyrics of useful information. The finale would then include a recap of what has been learned. Good idea. The following example could vastly improve the finale of the musical Into the Woods, for example. I wondered if you might get the Prince, not Prince for obvious reasons, to sing it on your show. It goes like this, and then she writes the lyrics she's written. Well, Mrs. Suspicious Coffee Mornings, I'll be only too happy to do this. Unfortunately, it's not actually the Prince who sings this in Into the Woods. It is in fact Little Red Riding Hood, and I can't get hold of Little Red Riding Hood at the moment. I think she's popped out to get some aspirin or something, so I'm going to have to do it myself, I'm afraid. And I have had to add one extra line because it doesn't fit musically otherwise, so sorry about that. Do let me know if you want me to do any more of this. I've only done the small section that you've written, but here it is anyway. Hope you enjoy. And we know things now, many valuable things that we had no idea of before, such as how to spot the earth wire in a plug, and for men, just what on earth is a shrug. And despite some indigestion, all our queries and our questions have made practical suggestions, so we're wise but not smug. Well, there we are, Mrs. Suspicious Coffee Mornings. I hope that was alright. As I say, let me know if you want any more of that kind of thing. It actually made me think. It's a very good idea. It reminded me that, there's something like that in Les Miserables. Not so much having known something or been taught something, but maybe something they actually need teaching because they might have forgotten it. So here's a little excerpt from Les Miserables. Who am I? Can I do quite hard sums all on my own, without using the calculator on my phone? I know I must carry the 9, but should I plus or should I times? What is pi? I'm not that good with circles, honestly. Would I be better off with trigonometry? How do I choose the square of the hypotenuse? I can't find x, I know I should, but my 2 times tables are quite good. Let me try. 2, 4, 6, 0, 1. Nah! Oh, bugger, that's wrong, isn't it? It's 2, 4, 6, 8. Cosette, come teach me more. There we are there, Jean Valjean having some trouble with his 2 times table. We've all been there, Jean. We've all been there. Well, that's it for today, everybody, for Ask Uncle Ben. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I know I haven't. No, I have really. Please take care of yourselves, won't you? And I'll see you very soon. Indeed. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.